Tuesday, thank you, December 30th, of the Bristol Budget Committee. Our first item is the pledge, so Chuck, if you would lead us, appreciate that.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Chuck, if you want to take the, go ahead and do the, so we will do the solid waste disposal 4324.
Okay.
So I will make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for solid waste disposal, section 4324. The select board recommended amount of $445,425.
I'll second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Sue. Before we start asking questions, I'll give you an opportunity. Anything you want to bring to our attention, either to explain or to request a change, or?
No, I'm ready for the questions, yes.
Okay. Just trying to see, so. How we doing on, staffing? You've got all your positions filled?
Yeah, so we have the newest member, his name is Kevin. He just come on board about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We have Joe Sartos, who I share with Highway. So if it snows, then Joe works with Highway and does plowing, and I lose him. So I'm still struggling a little bit, but we're making it though. I will get a new employee somewhere in the summertime. He has to retire from one department, and then he's going to come work for me part-time. So that's why you'll see a little bit on the attendance.
Sorry about that.
A little bit on the attendance is a little bit higher.
Yep, that's kind of why I was asking.
Yeah, because the Joe Sartos, he comes in with a little bit higher, with the knowledge that he has his certificate already, and also he comes in with a little bit higher price in hiring him over, and then also the employee that's going to come over in the summertime, he's going to be a little bit higher priced than what we would normally hire.
Okay. So the line 20 with the significant increase, it isn't so much that we have a lot more people for hours, it's that we have better people who
That's
get
right,
paid more.
exactly, right. And the one that's coming over, he has his certificate also. So that, and then we're covering now all the trash around the town, also picking that up. So that's being budgeted also in there. So that's a little bit more hours too.
Okay. I think that was it for me. Does anyone else have a comment or a question?
I'll be abstaining.
Okay, gotcha. I guess you typically do that, so that's not a surprise.
Chuck, sorry, I always had to step out. Both Victor and Jeff are on their way.
Okay.
So did we touch base and tell them about the administrative assistant being budgeted there?
I did not,
Okay.
yeah.
One thing I did want to point out is that there is also an administrative assistant line that's added there. It's a split between the executive department office and Chuck. We share that administrative assistant, so it is only, I believe, only 10%. And so that's why there's a retirement line in there, because the administrative assistant is a full-time position, so Chuck is sharing those costs with the executive budget, so.
Are you saying that 122 is a new line?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a new position or is it just
No.
a new line?
No, so previously Chuck's position, administrative assistant, was one person doing 3 different jobs. So we broke Chuck out and put him in the executive office, So the administrative assistant that was previously doing his work is still doing highway and assessing and land use. And then Chuck's administrative assistant is our administrative and his combined
Okay.
now.
But it's not a net increase in positions, it's just a different
No.
allocation.
Just a different allocation, it's not an increase in positions.
Okay. Thank you, Christina. Anyone else? I don't want to rush things, but go ahead.
Well,
Buzz.
I'd just like to comment that, at least in my experience, the service at the transfer station is improved. God, I mean, you barely get out of your car and there's somebody standing there in a yellow vest saying, "Let me help you."
That's good.
And it's not only helpful, but it's also moving things along. So
Absolutely.
the weight is.
There was an issue when I first come on board with Saturdays, long lines and stuff. And I feel like if we get out there and move them along, because there's some people like to talk at the transfer station. They like to communicate what's going on in the town. So I said, no, we're going to go and get people moving along. So we're out there helping as much as we can. So, but I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Good job, keep it up.
You didn't look at again, anything you wanted to?
No, I didn't see anything else.
All right. So, not hearing anything else, I think we're ready to vote on final approval for the section. Did you have something? You look at me.
No, I just hear someone.
Yeah, somebody's phone's doing something.
Yeah. When my husband goes in and out the door, we have an alarm. That's how I keep track of them all.
All right. Not hearing any more questions and not having any myself, I think we're ready for a final vote. So we're gonna have a vote on final approval for the budget section for solid waste disposal, which is 4324. We haven't made any changes, so it's in the original amount of $445,425. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes.
Abstain.
Thank you, passes 601.
Good.
Wait, that was quick?
I love it. Like,
So you can give us a good feedback, just like Buzz gave you good
oh,
feedback.
yeah. I appreciate y'all very much. But yeah, we try hard down there. There's behind the scenes that nobody gets to see. We come in early and we try to knock everything out. That way we can help. So once we're done with that, if we're standing around or, it was the prior to get to that point, so we get out there and we try to help out as much as we can.
Since we don't have anyone else, I just thought of another, it's not a budget question, but I remember this past summer when we were in a really bad drought, I thought I had read that the brush pile got closed off because you
It
couldn't
did.
accept that.
Yeah,
So to me, it seems like things are normal. I just saw something in the paper last month saying that officially a good portion of the state is still in a drought. But we've gone back, have you gone back to normal
We
procedures?
did. We had about 4 weeks there at the very end before we closed it. So the whole month of November, because we closed the 1st of December, we opened it back up. But we stayed closed all the way till then. I got one burn down there, probably early in the season, and then had to shut it down. Now, I say shut it down. That was just the brush. I kept it open for people to come in with leaves, which really helped out with a lot of the noise that was going on and everything. So, but anytime somebody, and a lot of the regulars, anytime they wanted, I kept it locked, the gate locked, but I would go down there, open it up so they can do their leaves or whatever. So we try to please people, keep people happy. By doing that, that kept them happy. At the very beginning, they said, "Well, what are we going to do?" The state's one that closes it,
Yeah, there was a burn ban.
Yeah, the burn ban. So, but no, we did pretty good on that. So,
Okay, good, thank you.
and we got we do have we got a new compactor coming the week of the 5th. We're replacing one that's been really, really bad. So the week of the 5th, hopefully Thursday or Friday, they'll replace that, so that's coming up too. So, which
Okay.
I'm happy with that. So,
All right,
and
we'll let you go home and enjoy your evening.
good.
Stay warm.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Paul, do you want to do the debt service?
Well, the debt service ones are for water and sewer, so if Jeff's not here, do we want to, can we do any of those sections without either Victor or?
I can do fire betterment.
That's what I have up right now.
I can do fire betterment.
All right.
We're just saying like the debt service is what it is, right?
They're on their way, Jeff's coming from
I know.
Alexandria.
So Joe's comment was, again, that the sewer principal and interest and the water principal and interest, we're not gonna have much of a discussion. We could bang those out without
We could
Jeff.
do that one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do betterment first and then?
We could do the 4319 budget too, which is street lighting. Pretty much, Victor doesn't do anything with that, so.
All right, but we'll do the 43.
43 what?
4339 is fire betterment.
Okay, hold on.
A lot of
I don't
activity
see
this summer.
4339
You don't,
It should say other water, and then it's fire betterment on the line activity.
other water.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, right up at the top, like, okay, yeah.
All right, so I will make a motion to advance consideration of the other water, section 4339, in the select board recommended amount of $10,000.
Seconded.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Joe. Christina, do you want to, we have at least one new member, you want to just quickly cover what this is for? We do this every year.
Fire betterment is the portion of the town for maintaining the, and I'm having,
Hydrants.
maintaining the hydrants, thank you. The work is done by water and sewer department, but the town pays a portion into that in order to keep them up and running, shoveled out, cleaned, and repaired throughout the year. So you will see that 2025 says we haven't spent it, we have booked it, we wait till the very last minute to pay it. And we had encumbered 2024, so we're paying 2024 and 2025 this week to water and sewer, so.
Okay. So this is level funded. This has been in the budget every year at the same amount for the 5 or 6 years I've been on the committee. You don't have any questions or comments? I'm just making sure Brian knows what's going on, because the first time we did this, I had lots of questions. What the heck is this?
Historically, it used to be 20,000 too.
Well, I think it's 20,
Well,
it's supposed to be
it's 20 when we
split
skip
50-50 between water and the town.
It's been 20 before because we skipped some years and we had to catch back up because the town hadn't paid for a while, so.
It's all caught up.
It will be this week completely, so.
So, any other questions, comments? Not hearing any, we'll go ahead and have a final vote on final approval. So we're gonna vote on final approval for section 4339, which is, and here it says other water, I think somewhere else it says water betterment, but it is what it is, in the original amount of $10,000. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, passes 7-0. So, why don't we do, sewer debt service principal, I think is the next one we will do. So,
And what number is that?
so it's
47.
05-4711.
Yeah.
The sewers are 05, the water is 07, the general budget is 01. So we don't normally say 01, but we need to say that starting number when we get to water and sewer. So I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for sewer department debt service principal, which is section 05-4711, in the select board recommended amount of $9,230, I thought we said no cents, sorry,
Yeah.
9,236.
This isn't rounding, okay,
67.
I have to fix it, that's weird.
So can I make it $37?
Yeah,
$9,237.
Seconded.
That was you, Joe, right? Okay, motion by Paul, seconded by Joe. Jeff's not here, so if we have any questions, we'll have to, but
it's I can tell you what they are. The Central Square project is their portion. We also have, if you look in the general fund debt service, there's also a Central Square project line. This is their portion of it. They pay 17% of the principal. I have to find out what's booked under the next one, because this says it was paid off in 2024, so there shouldn't be anything booked to it. So I will check on that and find out what that is. But that's why you don't see any budget, because we had paid that off. And then there is no bond payment until 2027, so that's why there isn't a bond payment in
correct.
here
So,
yet.
so the payment on line 730, which is the Central Square project, is the total amount.
Yes,
733 has a zero amount because it's paid off, and 997 has a zero because it hasn't started yet.
correct.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll hold a vote to make final approval for this section. So we're voting on Sewer Department Debt Service Principal, Section 05-4711, in the original amount of $9,237. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes 700. Now we'll do interest for the sewer. Make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for Sewer Department long-term debt interest, which is section 05-4721, in the select board recommended amount of $30,388.
Debt and interest, but-
We're doing, again, motion by Paul, seconded by Joe. We're doing the ones we don't need you for.
Okay.
We're not gonna cut your debt service payment, so.
Sorry about this.
So, same type of thing here, there's 3 lines. Obviously, the Central Square project has an amount in it. The second one has been paid off, there's nothing in it. And the third one, even though there's no principal payment, there is a payment on the van, so there's money in here to potentially make interest payments.
We've actually had to start drawing down on the ban, which is the bond anticipation note for the project. So there will be interest in 2026 towards this project. And this is the Central Street and Forest Main.
Right, and obviously the 30,000 is an estimate, because
Yeah.
you don't know when you're gonna draw it and how much, so.
Yeah, I can tell you we've drawn 250,000, so, until it's having the tax bills come in so late, we had to draw, we couldn't, so,
Couldn't fund it otherwise.
yeah.
So, of that 30,388, 388 is for the existing Central Square project, and 30,000 is for the, potentially for the new Forest Main. This, I think it's more as the pumping station than the Forest Main, but it's both.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions, comments from? Not hearing any, we'll go ahead and hold a vote for final approval. So we're voting on a final approval for section on Sewer Department long-term debt interest payments, which is section 05-4721, in the original amount of $30,388. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, it passes 700.
There's a set there.
Jeff is here, you wanna, rather than do water debt, why don't we go back and start on sewer operations?
Let me stop and I can get this.
I'm sorry, what was that? You aren't talking to me?
No.
Okay.
Is that 4326?
So this is, yeah, 05-4326. So I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for sewer department operating, which is 05-4326, in the select board recommended amount of $587,887.
Second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Scott. Jeff, before we start asking questions, is there anything you want to bring to our attention to,
No, I think for the most part, I am probably going to the board though. I think the stipend line for the on-call, I haven't spoke to the board, but I brought it in front of Christina.
so this is line 142?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I don't plan on increasing the bottom line, but there may be a possibility that may have to increase the spending in that line, but I'm gonna try to find it somewhere else in the budget, so.
Okay,
Do
so,
but
so,
nothing-
so you're
no-
interested in changing the rate that the employees will be paid,
Yeah,
but
it's
that's a
just-
select board thing. If you're not changing the amount in the budget, then we don't need to do
No,
anything tonight.
I just wanted to put it out there, so.
Thank you for letting us know.
We have been talking about changing the rate for on-call for a few months now, so we're just trying to get it finalized, so.
So I think, other than that, I think everything's
Pretty well funded.
good, yes.
In line 301, there's a 44% increase I'll give you. That is, we increased, it's really only $1,000 increase because of the audit. We're gonna be, that's the sewer department's portion of the audit, because we're gonna be required to do a one-time audit in addition to our regular audit.
So for line 301, I just want to make sure I understand. It says increase by 1,000 in both budgets. When you say both budgets, that's sewer and general auditing financial. It's not
Yes.
water,
It's
right?
not water. I think when I put the note in, it was water, but we cut it in the select board meeting, so we cut the increase in the water budget. It's just sewer and the general fund that paid for this audit. This portion of the extra audit, so.
And I just need to comment, I want to make sure it's correct, so the note again says Central Street Project. When I see Central Street Project, I think of the old Central Street Project. This is the new pumping station, Force
Correct.
Main, right?
Correct,
yeah.
yeah.
So, they're both on Central Street, so it can get a little bit confusing for
Yeah.
me.
If we spend over a certain amount of money, we have to have a
I think it's
one-time audit.
500,000.
I think it's up to
Single audit.
750 now.
It's
But we're exceeding it, so
We're gonna
do
exceed
it.
this, yes, so, if we, yep.
Okay. Anything else before we start asking you questions?
Oh, good.
Okay. Did anyone, I had one maybe, but does anyone have a question or something they wanted to bring up? So I just wanted to ask about line 391, which is your contracted services. I mean, the percentage is pretty high, it's not a huge amount of money, but the explanation to match, so the whole thing went up and half of it goes to sewer and half of it goes to
Yeah,
water?
I think it's,
And why, is it just that
I
the
think it's,
contractor's rates went up, or are we getting more services, or what is that?
our Continental, the Cousy Continental Utility Billing Company, they base it on the number of customers, and we do have an increase, and they did adjust that, so that's gone up. I think a little bit is due to each contract that we have with the billing and the meter reading software, Beacon. Also goes on the number of customers that we have. And I'm not sure, but I think there might have been some other service that we had that we actually moved over to that. And I'd have to follow up on that.
I think there was, because this is a little higher than water. This is 3,750 and water is 3,000. It looks like you switched them out, so there must have been something under water that you switched out.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can don't even consider these both, so.
But between water and sewer, it's not a net increase year over year
Right.
Yeah,
for that particular
because it looks like he
expense.
went from
Yeah,
one,
20.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're still unbalanced, they're just unbalanced in the opposite direction, you're saying, right?
Yeah, essentially where my brain's going is on a net basis, it's really not an increase, other than the increase related to, additional customers.
Anything else? Anyone else have a question or comment, or? Okay, I think we're ready for a final vote. Not hearing any disagreement, we'll call the vote for final approval of this budget section, which is sewer department operations, section 05-4326. We didn't make any changes, so it's the original amount of $587,887. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes 7-0-0.
Jeff, it was your command monitoring, you weren't doing that before. The monitoring of the building, now we put you on wireless.
Oh, okay.
That's in
That's
there
right.
too.
Yeah.
Okay,
So did you get that? Did you-
I heard that it was
The alarm?
monitoring of the building?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the alarm, fire alarm monitoring.
We
We
Oh,
used to
okay.
have those pole boxes, like,
Yeah,
we were part of the fire department.
so the same
Switch
thing that
those.
again, that we had, I think was the library, where before it
Yes.
was in a central section and now it's in the department section, same thing for water and sewer?
Water, sewer, and library pay for theirs. Everybody else's is in general government.
Gotcha, okay.
But we switched, every building is now wireless alarm monitoring, and not hardwired, whatever it's called. Might not be hardwired, but we're not in the master box
With the pole
anymore,
box,
so-
yeah, I know the one on the side of the library's got a
Yeah.
plastic bag over it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Ready for the next section? I think we are. So I'll make a motion to move consideration of the sewer department capital projects, which is section 05-4327, and the select board recommended amount of $18,000.
Seconded.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Joe. Same thing, Jeff, we'll give you a chance to talk before we start asking questions. Anything you want to say?
No, nothing on that.
Are you okay with this? I see the select board made a significant change, and that's something that was agreed to, right? I think I was there in the meeting when you guys talked about it, so, but we'll give you a chance to.
Yeah, it was the paving job.
Oh, right, yeah, and I had numbers for that, and I was way off on what it was gonna take to pave the treatment facility.
Right.
I think I was thinking around 30 or 40,000, and it came in over 100, so.
Wow, okay.
And so I'm fine with the board pulling that.
Right, because it wouldn't have gotten the job done,
No.
and we're not increasing it to that much.
Exactly, yeah.
And Jeff finished the South Queen Street crossing in October, so
Yeah,
there's
that was
no
it.
need for that to be in the budget anymore.
That's been in our budget for a few years now, and it's a good project finally done.
And then there's the new line for treatment plan updates, which is, we're gonna have to start that project sooner, to update, update water heaters in the shower system.
Right, yeah.
It's starting to fail fast.
Oh, boy, okay.
I have some really lovely pictures of the tank. It's rusted pretty badly. So,
All right. Anyone else have any questions? We'll go ahead and vote on final approval. So this is a vote to make final approval of section for the sewer department capital projects, section 05-4327, in the original amount of $18,000. All in favor? Opposed and abstaining, none. This passes 7-0-0. I think the next section is surplus. Make a motion to advance consideration of the sewer department surplus, which is section 05-4328, and the select board recommended amount of $91,937.
I'll second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Sue. Anything to discuss here?
No, that's just, I think you understand that it's just the surplus between the revenues and our expected expenditures. We'll switch that over, so.
And that number could change, but we left it level funded, because we aren't quite sure what that number could be. Depends on where everything plays out, but hopefully it won't change.
Right. So I guess the only question I was going to ask, just for curiosity and anyone reading in, we're level funding the surplus. Is it fair to say that right now it looks, the department is running well and revenues are, we're not going to need a rate increase in
I
order
don't
to
think
achieve
we'll-
this
yeah.
surplus, right?
I don't think this year we'll see a need for a rate increase for water and sewer.
Okay. I know it's not a budget issue, but it's something
No.
town people are
They would
interested
probably-
in, so I want to
Yeah.
make a chance to
Yeah.
just make sure we all understand what's happening.
If anything, we do have fees that are driven by the materials that we have to purchase for pickups. We're gonna probably change those, but as far as the water rates themselves,
Okay,
uh,
very good, thank you. Anyone else have a question, comment? Not hearing any, we'll have a vote, final approval for this section, which is sewer department surplus, 05-4328, in the original amount of $91,937. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and abstained, none, 7-0, that passes. And we've already handled your debt, principal, and debt interest, so now we're gonna move on to water. So the next section on our agenda is water operations. So I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for water department. Here it says distribution and treatment administration. I call it operations. Section 07-4331 in the select board recommended amount of $546,347.
Second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Les. Jeff, anything you want to bring to our attention before we? We're not grilling you very hard, but we still want you to get a chance before we ask questions.
No, it's pretty much the same as the sewer, my comment on that as far as the stipend, but other than that, the budget will, I'm fine with the budget the way it is.
I will point out line 260, the workers' compensation number. It appears it went up a lot more, but that's based off of the billing that we get from, the numbers that we get from Primex, and water for some reason was a lot higher, so.
So the workers' comp charges for the water department went up because Primex is charging us more.
And it could be claims that we've had, I don't know why water was so much higher.
Because it happened later because Jeff didn't originally ask for it. It was updated by the select board based, but
Yep.
had to pay the Primex bill. I don't think we have any.
Primex gives us a bill that breaks it out by like highway, so every department gets like this charge. The only ones, again, who pay for them on their own are normally the library probably isn't, but Jeff Waters.
Right, because
pays for
he's
them. Yeah.
standalone
The rest
business.
get done in the insurance and liability, so. Water department is a risk, Jeff. I'm kidding.
So I guess the question I would ask is just the next line, which is uniforms, line 292. It says additional employees. So is your staff, you need to increase the staff, can we increase it in staff?
We have one vacant spot right now. And so that would be, we're also looking at our uniforms. gonna try to restructure that a bit, maybe looking towards taking these dollars and giving a stipend rather than
Okay.
hiring the uniform.
I guess it makes sense. When I was thinking more people, new people need uniforms, I was thinking that the staffing was going up. I think what I didn't think about was if someone retires or leaves and you hire a new person, they're replacing someone, your staffing stays the same, but they still need uniforms. So that's what I was not
Right.
understanding when I first started to ask my question.
Well, remember when we did budget last year, we had 3 open positions just in the water department alone. So now we're down to 1, which is really good, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I was thinking new employees make sense. I was thinking it was new additional employees, and that's what I was gonna ask about. That's not the case. Okay. Anyone else have a question or comment?
Just a quick question.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Do you find your customer base increasing?
On average, I would say we probably go up about 4 service connections per year,
Okay.
so.
Is that new housing?
Yeah, new housing, additional units, lots of people putting in apartments,
Okay.
adding efficiency apartments to their homes, but, and then we do have new connections, I don't know how many, I'm actually working on that right now as I
Sure.
do my town report.
And once someone is on the system, they pretty much stay on the system?
Yeah,
They have to tie in if they're within so many feet, correct?
on the sewer system, yes,
System.
water, there's no requirement to tie into the town water, but, if you're within 150 feet of the town sewer, you are required to tie in. But we haven't expanded our collection system, and so pretty much whoever's on it is on it already, so.
It's the best town water around, for sure.
Tastes
I
good.
wish I had it in my house in Alexandria.
Good water, great pressure.
All right,
So I will share
go ahead.
that Jeff, as of August, has been with the town 41 years.
Wow.
41, yeah.
41 years, so.
He's been drinking the water the whole time.
So you must be 50 years old.
Just turned.
He started when he was 10. No, it's 42. I lied. No, that's not true. Never mind, it's 41.
Going on 42.
Going for 50.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? So we'll go ahead and have a final vote. This is a vote to make final approval for the section for water department, distribution and treatment or operations, section 07-4331. We didn't make any changes in the original amount of $546,347. All in favor? Aye. Opposed and abstaining, none, passes 7-0. So now we'll do water capital. So make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for the water department capital projects, which is 07-4332, in the select board recommended amount of $10,500.
I'll second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Sue, for water capital projects. Jeff, anything you need to bring to our attention? I don't-
No, it's, again, with the sharing of the expense that would have happened with the paving, we pulled that out of this budget as well, so. I think this, the fiber, the SCADA, that's the remote monitoring of our system.
Supervisor, I
So-
can't do the
Yeah.
acronym, but it's supervisory
Yeah.
control system.
So we just like to put a little bit of money,
What's that?
Said close enough, Paul.
you know, a supervisory control and data acquisition.
See, I got 2
You
out
were
of
close,
5.
yeah. We like to build on that a little bit each year. There's certain things that we like to see that we're not seeing.
Okay, yep.
So we're gonna add to that.
So I guess the question I would ask, it might be appropriate for both lines, so I'll just ask it once for both 910 and 911. They were budgeted in this year's budget, and they're being budgeted again in next year's budget for the same amount of money. So is that a case where we're making improvements year after year and it's an ongoing project? I could see that for SCADA, but for the epoxy floors, is that the
It's
case? Or is
not,
that- is that
yeah, it's just-
we didn't get it done in 25 and now we're gonna do it in 26?
Yeah, and I don't think we got it done in 24. So, so, but, we'll get there.
Okay,
But I don't encumber funds with the enterprise fund, so we just rebudget, so,
right. So the epoxy is clearly, it's a project that just hasn't been done.
correct, yeah.
But is the SCADA didn't get done this year and now?
No, we did do a little bit,
or
yeah.
You did some things this year and now you're gonna do other things next year?
Yeah,
Okay, so it's a different answer for the two lines?
Yeah.
Each line?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't think it changes the budget, but it improves my understanding of what's going on, so I like to know what's
that
happening.
was good.
Thank you. Anyone else? Questions? Comments? Okay, so now we're gonna vote on final approval. So we're gonna vote to approve the Water Department Capital Projects section, which is 07-4332, in the unchanged amount of $10,500. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes 7-0. Now we'll do water surplus. I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the Water Department surplus budget section, 07-4333, and the Select Board recommended amount of $104,884.
Second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Buzz. Now we'll have a vote for final approval. You didn't have anything you wanted to
No.
say, did you? Questions? No? Okay, we'll have a vote on final approval for Water Department surplus, 07-4333, for $104,884. All in favor? Aye. Opposed and abstained, that passes 7-0. And now we'll do your debt. Make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for Water Department debt service principal payments, section 07-4711, in the Select Board recommended amount of $57,202. That was, okay. A motion by Paul, seconded by Scott. Anything we need to talk about here? I think this is multi-year project, it's nothing new, nothing changed. Just have to make another year's worth of payments, right?
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions? Not hearing any, we'll have a vote for final approval. So we're voting to make approval for the Water Department long-term debt principal payments, section 07-4711, in the amount of $57,202. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes 7-0. And I think your last section. Make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for the Water Department long-term debt interest payments, section 07-4721, in the Select Board recommended amount of $4,136.
Seconded.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Joe. Not hearing any comments or questions, we'll have a vote for final approval. We're voting on final approval for the budget section for the Water Department long-term debt interest payments, 07-4721, in the amount of $4,136. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, none, passes 7-0. I believe that's it for you, Jeff. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that you need to bring to our attention?
I think one thing I had just recently applied for
Yeah?
was a $60,000 grant for lead service line or unknown service line investigations. It's funded through DES.
Okay,
I did apply for that, and they sent me an email saying that most likely we'll receive that $60,000 towards that project. A lot of this will be in-house staffing being utilized to offset that money, but the grant money that would come in would help purchase equipment to do that investigation and leasing of equipment to do so.
okay,
So the
so,
way we set it up right now is that there is a $30,000 grant and $30,000 loan from
No, that's on the sewer.
the other one. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind, sorry, there's another one then. I haven't read this one.
Yeah, this is.
so I heard you mention that it sounds like it's lead abatement, that you're gonna be
Oh, that
searching for
came
lead
into-
pipes and
Yeah.
make sure that we get them out of the system.
Right,
which
and I
think-
don't believe there is any, but just the fact that it's unknown, we have to confirm that it's not lead, so. And this is countrywide, this is just Bristol's attempt to resolve it, so. I think we're in pretty good shape, but we have to just confirm everything,
Okay,
all the
How do you
unknowns.
do that?
Door to door, we would go to start with. We've looked at our records, and if the records aren't clear, we'll go door to door. And we have to determine from the curb stop to the house as well as from the curb stop back to the main. I recently found some records, the original contracts from 1951 that explain just what the pipes were, so that's gonna be helpful, because there's documentation there.
Were you working here in 51?
So that was good to find that stuff. But if we have to actually physically go out there, it would involve a piece of excavation equipment. A lot of towns have been using those hydraulic vacuum machines that would just suck the material out, so you can put your eyes on the pipe without disturbing a huge area. So we're looking to lease or purchase a unit like that to do that. So.
this sounds like good news. The only question, and I don't know if it's you or more for Christina, is under the state requirement for gross appropriation, do we have to do anything?
We haven't been awarded it yet, so.
Okay,
So
so
I
we don't have to
know
do
when it
anything.
actually kicks in, if it starts
Yeah.
this year or about, so.
We have been awarded a $30,000 grant with $30,000 loan to offset. The loan would be on the warrant article, so, but we haven't, that won't kick in until very late in 2026, so.
And that would be
That's on
on
the sewer side.
the wastewater asset management.
Asset management,
Yeah.
yeah.
We did something similar with the water side already. I think in all, we've had about 130, 160,000 with 2 grants, I think, over the years for that. And now we're focused on the wastewater, so.
Okay. Well, thank you, yeah. I heard you were putting a new piece of equipment in on the inlet side of the sewer treatment plant to.
Yeah, we're looking at
reduce,
that, most likely, that piece of equipment's probably over $100,000, so whether we purchase it with cap reserve, money, but we're gonna be looking, we've been looking for a while. It's a piece of equipment that's really needed. It's removes any of the flushable wipes
Right, cause horrible problems
that
downstream.
aren't really flushable, but they plug up our whole process. It would be good to get them out of the system and.
Okay, I thought I had heard that was happening. You're saying it's, at this point, it's not official, it's
It's
being
not official,
considered.
but we're shopping.
Gotcha.
We were able to watch a unit run without not being in the water, and then we got to watch a video of it running in a bigger plant, so it was, there were 2 different versions we got to watch, so pretty interesting.
Okay. Before we let Jeff go, does any other committee member have a question or a comment they want to make? Thank you for coming. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Keep warm.
Thank you, guys, sorry.
Thanks, Jeff, this evening.
I gotta apologize too.
You didn't remind me that.
Yeah, I know, it's my fault.
Just sit there if you need it.
Hello, everybody. I apologize about being late.
Well, you made it here before we finished with Jeff, so we got
Okay.
Chuck out quick, and then we got Jeff, and now we get to New Year's sessions. I don't think we need to talk, I think we need to make a motion first. So I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for Highway Department Operations Administration, section 4311, in the select board recommended amount of $760,078. Motion by Paul, seconded by Sue. So now that we have a motion, I think this is, you know, before we start asking questions, I will stop talking and give you a chance to say anything you want to bring to our attention or explain or request.
Well, about this section on the operating budget.
On operating, yeah.
I think we operated very well within the restraints this year that we set forth. My first budget that I put out last year, which was a collective, of taking Mark's old budget and combining it with mine. I think at the end of the day, I spent dollars wisely. You'll see in the retraction that we're combining the most of the equipment into the 660 line. I think that has helped us to keep some equipment alive because we're not looking at individual pieces of equipment. We're looking at a bulk over a line on that. I feel that new system that Christina and everybody employed has made it much more versatile for us to keep the equipment alive instead of just looking at the individual equipment. We do have the ability to look at the individual equipment under another system, but on the day-to-day, when something goes wrong, we can go, where are we at, what can we do, and just apply the money to what we need to do. Anything beyond my $3,000 to $5,000 scope, I get the select board involved, and that would be with anything else. But it takes a lot of the headache away from the day-to-day, just going, where are we at with this vehicle? So I appreciate that going into service. Other than that, the budget, I think, was pretty tight. When my numbers come into the end of the year, I think you're going to see they're very, very tight. So it was a very lean budget last year. And let's just move forward where we're going next year.
Okay, anyone on the committee have a question or a comment they want to make? Go ahead. Sue, you got something?
I was just gonna say, this is what the select board recommended, this is what they were asking?
Originally, he asked for
Yeah.
$797, and the select board recommended $760. It's about a 1.5% increase.
Is that for, let's see, I just looked at is that for the drop in the HD gas, diesel adjusted? I'm not quite sure.
You're asking where they
drop the
the
money?
select board
Big
made their
change,
changes?
Yeah.
Reduce salt.
There's salt, there's guardrail replacement,
Yeah.
a hot patch, and
Vehicle maintenance.
Line 693, 695.
But see all the little ones, I'm talking about the big one there, that's,
The big one's probably salt, which we're almost bottom line on salt as of today. Where we lay. I think when we put salt to bed by the first, there'll be maybe $1,000 or $2,000 left. And we cut salt last year by, I think, 10. But
Overtime was reduced.
Gas and diesel?
that's the one I was looking at. That's
gas
the
and diesel,
big-
but we're in a locked-in fund with the state. So if the state moves, we move. If the state doesn't move, there's no telling what's going on with that. So.
Right.
yeah, we have two programs, we have the state and we have a WEX card, so
Yeah.
we get a discount.
99% of our fuel is diesel, which is
Oh, yeah, that's right.
which is purchased from the state. So. No, the selectmen cut those lines. I wasn't here when they cut them. The only one I probably would have fought for was the salt, to say, because I knew going into the way the numbers were laying in was I was going to be real close, and I think we're going to close the year out within $2,000 of that number.
also that the line for sidewalks was cut. Was that because there's a specific project that's been cut, or is that just?
That was always for sidewalk maintenance, it's not saying so. Actually, this year, we applied that to some other projects for when the church renovation went there, so that money will get eaten up on this number there, but unless something major happens to the sidewalk, we know we have problems now with the concrete sidewalks. It's gonna develop, it's gonna build bigger. The working group that you're on, we've had that conversation, we're gonna be having that conversation, that there's parts of the concrete asphalt around the square that's disintegrating, the salt's eating it up, or just some wear and tear on it. And that's different than doing an asphalt sidewalk. So, I mean, there's different ways to handle that, and there's gonna be some large conversations when it comes to replacing that. Or it's also ornate concrete down there, it's exposed rock, it's polished, so to replace it, you can't just throw a slab of concrete in there, but it just won't be polished if we do the repair, if we sub it out. So those conversations will be ongoing with the select board and with the working group that I have about, immediate repairs and temporary repairs. We've got temporary repairs already in the concrete, which we've just repaired them with asphalt. So now you're going concrete to asphalt to concrete. Because we're not just gonna bring someone in to do a 4x4 square, and try and make it, with the rest of it decomposing around it, we have to look at a section. So these conversations are coming more towards the future, but the select board decided to cut some money out of there, and I'm not gonna argue that sometimes that line carries over 2 years in a row without being touched. So the way I have to look at it is, I think with the working group that I have, is to look at the sidewalks more instead of, I can bring that number down to a repair line, kind of like the guardrail. So I have no problem with that line being cut.
Right, so for the time being, for the upcoming
Exactly.
year, you'll just do any urgent repairs and a long-term
Right,
plan.
and I think with the working group, we'll target sections of sidewalk and go, we might create a line to go, let's repair that, because, some of the damage was done, and a lot of the damage that you see on some of the roads is because Jeff has a water or sewer issue. We've cut into it, we've made a big patch, whatever. And all those numbers, when you look at all the little fouls on the 40 miles of road and the 8 miles of sidewalk, they add up. And then if you can get a lane to go, let's just repair this area, I think it's easier to budget and target an area and take the rest as a patch and replace.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions? Comments?
So if you go back to, I guess, if there was any line that, I do understand why the selectmen cut what they cut. I'm in no, I won't argue any one of them except for the salt line. I would try and bring that number back up by at least 8,000,
Okay.
but that would be me.
So you'd like to talk some more about the salt line, which
Yeah.
is 693. So,
Yeah, so if you look at that number,
Yes.
the previous number, just so you know, the year before, Mark ran over on projects, and to cover that money, we took 10 grand out of salt. When you take the 10 grand out of salt, it changes that number. So there was 10 grand missing, and then last year we took another, I think we talked about 10, but we ended up taking 5 or 8 out. So I went down 18,000 in salt last year. I'm redlining right now. I just ordered salt today. I got 7,000 left. I ordered 60 ton. That's going to put another $5,000 or $6,000 bill on it. I will be within $200 to $1,500, and that's cutting it pretty darn close
of this year's budget.
of this year's budget. So I got double whammy last year because we tried to cover cost overrun in projects, and then, as select board and budget committee, I can't remember which the number was, we cut a little bit more out of it. And Mark ran that line, and again, not me, but that line was run heavy for a lot of years for a lot of reasons. But we spiked. At one point, when I took over last year, we were running at almost $100 a ton. It dropped down mid-season this year at the end of my contract with Morton Salt but that's August. I'm not gonna fill the bin, but because of that, I had talked to Christina and we cleared and we put another 30 ton in there just so that when we did our sand mix, that we were able to buy it at the cheaper rate. It did not come all the way back up to 100. But salt can fluctuate
Come on.
worse than fuel. Okay, and so to me, it felt like we're taking too much of the buffer out of that line in 1 year than more. And like I said, if the number stays that way, we'll just have to work with it. I'll work with it. If there was one that I would fight for, it'd be the salt line to put a little bit more money in there, even if it's $5,000. That's basically $5,000 at what we're paying right now, which is I think we're running around $92 a ton. That'll handle 2 loads at 60 tons, which is 3 storms.
I think we've had 2 mild winters, 2 back to back, and now this winter's coming.
Well, but the winters, so like if you look at this storm that we just had the other day, this is an ice storm. Okay, so and again, you could drive around right now. I was just up in Ashland at dinner. You can't walk down their sidewalks. Ours have got ice patches on it. Theirs are glazed completely over. But if you do not get out in front of an ice storm, you will pay for it for 3 weeks after because the roads be glazed over. We got out in front of this one at 1 in the morning the other night, and we stayed on it until 4 or 5:30 or 6:30 last night, and then we were back in at 4 in the morning this morning. Our roads look very good compared to the surrounding towns. I'm not saying they're perfect. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it takes material to do it. And we have to have the material to be able to do it. And regardless, we'll find the money one way or another, and that's what the overall budget is for. But if out of the operating budget there was a line that I would beef up, it'd be salt.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to amend line 4311-693 to the department requested amount of $44,200.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Joe, seconded by Brian to amend line 4311-693 from the select board recommended of $40,000 to a new amount of $44,200, which is the original department request. The motion, Baker, you get to talk first.
Yeah, I mean, as Victor said, salt prices fluctuate, but it sounds like this year he's gonna clearly hit the $44,200 that was budgeted for the current year. So, I think it's reasonable to level fund it. I think we know this winter is likely gonna be more than the past few, and hopefully we don't get any more ice storms this year, but any year we get an ice storm, this is gonna go haywire, so. I think it's a reasonable request, it's money we're going to spend, and I'd rather have salt on the roads than not.
Okay, anyone else?
Well, the actual spending, though, you had asked, the budget was for $44,200, but the actual spending was $36,390, is that correct?
We haven't finalized all the bills.
We haven't
You haven't
finalized.
finalized any, so you don't know how far off you'd be from that?
Right, and what I'm saying is I have to watch that line number tight, in making purchases, and I know where I was sitting a week ago to what I ordered today. I had 60 ton come in. I took that number and minused it out of there, and I just ordered another 60 ton. And I'm saying it's going to be around another $5,000 to $6,000 on there. That'll leave me within a $2,000 margin what I had left on that line.
Yep.
The last one that we paid was from December 18th, so we definitely will have more bills.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I think it makes sense. I was glad to hear you say that if we didn't make the change, you wouldn't say, we won't use salt. You'd have to find somewhere else to scrounge in the budget to do the money.
Yes.
But if we know we're gonna use it. And I guess the other thing is, for me, is you're not unique, but I mean, I have faith and trust that I think you're doing good work for the town. If you tell me that you need the money, I tend to believe you. I'll put it that way.
I appreciate that. It's a year under my belt as your superintendent. I've tried to watch every penny as tightly as I can. There are lines that are over, there are lines that are under, and there's two theories when you sit there and watch it. That it's a bottom line budget, and you can just look at the bottom line. I try to look at every individual line. I let them run into a negative for a reason if I have to go into a negative, and that is to prove a point to myself and then to be able to justify to you, look, we're running lean on this line, and these are the reasons why. Just to help us all be able to build this budget. I mean, that's our job collectively, between the select board, yourselves, and myself, is to build this budget, be reasonable for the taxpayer and the residents, and go, we can either prove it, or you're just grasping at straw.
Right. Okay, anyone else want to make a comment, or?
The only comment I'd make is, I noticed on Facebook there was some really positive comments about how great our roads were compared to other towns. And the comment was actually from somebody who doesn't usually comment that positively, so it was very nice.
I haven't seen it, so it's nice.
You'd be happy.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to the crew. It's I may sit at the helm, but the crew is doing from, when we'll get into projects here in a minute, and the crew has just done an outstanding job this year. I can't say enough good about it.
Okay. Anyone else want to make a comment before we have a vote? Not hearing any. All right, so we're going to vote on the motion, which is to increase line 4311-693 to a new amount of $44,200, so an increase of $4,200. Is that clear? I think it is. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 7-0, that passes. All right, let me do some math real quick.
I'm just gonna point out, there is a new line we talked about it under Chuck's budget as well for administrative assistant. It is not a new position, it's just a breakout again of the cost allocation for the position. It's the same person doing the work, just Victor's budget paying for it as well as assessing and land use paying for it, so.
So you're saying that the person who has been here and continues to be here in the past was being paid completely out of land use, and now they're being, some of their time is being charged?
To highway.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's line 121, just so you know. So, and again, any of those lines that, like this shows a 0% increase, I will put that star disclaimer on, but I won't do it until the end because I have to manually do it, so.
Right. Okay. Any other comments from committee members, or Victor, anything else you wanted to?
Not on the operating budget,
Okay.
no.
All right, so let's go ahead and have a vote on final approval for this budget section. So we're voting for final approval of the Highway Department operations, which is 4311, and it's in the new amended amount of $764,278. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, that passes 7-0-0. So we're done with operations, now we'll move on to capital projects. Highway projects is what it's called. So I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for Highway Department highway projects, which is 4312, in the select board recommended amount of $335,001.
Seconded.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Joe. Victor, anything you want to bring to our attention?
So we've done a lot of projects this year. We did very, very well on all the projects. We had some setbacks. We were able to move forward, change direction. I've got a working group now for the highway. A lot of discussion was had there. And we're moving forward this year. We're at a transitional stage where we're doing a lot of subterranean work prior to paving. So we kind of changed the name of the paving line to the road maintenance construction line, which would be the overall bigger budgeted things that are out there. Instead of just putting it all in a package, we do have one called drainage. So there's a second phase going on up on Chestnut Street due to costs that changed when we started that project. We were able to complete 4th Street. We were able to complete multitude crossings that were failed around the town. All of them have worked out very, very well. There's a larger one that you'll see when we go into warrant articles because it's too big for us to handle. We had to put that out as a warrant article. Road maintenance, and because we're in this transitional phase, we can't just go out and just start paving when we're looking at doing under drainage work. And we're kind of in this little gray area where we're trying to do some of the drainage so that we can do a larger amount of paving. But we're going to try and hold that number because of some of these costs, these unforeseen costs that come up, like on the drainage project. One of them, to give you an example, is on the Chestnut Street one. The drainage is right up against 2 or 3 telephone poles on that street. It used to be that Eversource would come hold the pole for us as we went by for nothing. Now it is $1,500 to $3,000 a day to hold the pole.
Wow.
Now, with that being said, we could take a risk and strap it to the loader and have the loader hold it all day and go on a private property and do what they do. But if something fails, we're liable for all the damage. So you can say, why would we risk doing that? Which I'm not willing to risk doing that. Because they're old poles that are brittle that could break on their own. If they're there and as we go by and they break, the onus falls on Eversource. So we had to cancel the second phase of Chestnut Street because with 3 poles, $9,000 some odd dollars we did not have. Okay? But we got it in a position where we got over a third of that, or probably half the job done already. But because of these things, I'm leaving the money in road maintenance that we can pave Danforth Brook and the portions of Danforth Brook after we do some minor under drainage there. The overflow money, we can look at Chestnut Street and say we can continue that project cheaper than subbing it out, but we can pay Eversource to come hold the poles. That's an example of some of the cost overruns that appear that don't exist in the building of the consensus of the project because we went based on past history, which was Eversource was going to hold that pole for nothing. There are other things that happened too, but we didn't have any of them happen to us because I think because of the working relationship with Jeff, we knew where the water was, we knew where we knew we were going to have problems with some laterals on the sewage side of the house, and we were all Johnny on the spot. Taking care of the problem. The flip side of it, when you throw it back towards Jeff, is Jeff has had a large amount of water breaks this year, and he's not budgeted for the repairs, and the repairs came out of my end. Once the pipe is repaired,
I would fix the road, yeah.
bringing all the subterranean back up to standard, and then repairing the road comes out of my end. Jeff's able to supplement me here and there with whatever he does, but it's just unforeseen money. So he's had a large amount of breaks, and then when you see what, of course, happened, we had a breakdown on Central Street, Merrimack at the intersection, and his big job is going right next door. A lot of vibration, they blasted down there. Did it have something to do with it? We don't know, but at the end of the day, the repair ended up belonging to Jeff, which belonged to me, and that. So again, it all comes down to watching the dollars, but leaving road maintenance at the number it is, I think we've got enough room, plus paving Danforth Brook, and Danforth Brook is on a full reclaim. I think we're doing very well with those 2 lines. And we're gonna leave chip sealing at a $0 balance in case we wanna bring that back, but I don't see a need for chip sealing at this point. Guardrail wise, it's not guardrail repair. We had Wickham Road wiped out last winter. It was not in the budget this year to repair. We did Chestnut Street, which came out phenomenal. We did Green Street, which came out phenomenal. But when we had budgeted that last year, steel prices spiked because of the tariffs. It went into cost overrun. We were able to absorb that in the project, the overall line, the bottom line, we were able to absorb it. So we've got a forecast for doing Wickham Road, the radius on Wickham Road. I left it's a couple $1,000s heavy just in case we have some issues with steel prices and that. And again, just like fuel, steel prices go up and down, fluctuating with the market. It's like buying a lobster based on market value at the time, you know.
All right. Any questions? I'm going to ask, even though I might be, I remember hearing in past years that there was some multi-year contract, I thought, with the paving company where we got a really good price.
Yes.
That I think has
Yeah,
expired.
we're on year, I believe, 2 of the
It's
3.
not expired,
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on year 2 of a 3-year contract.
Right, then, right.
with GMI.
Yep.
I thought it was GMI.
Yep, it's with GMI.
Okay. I'm just, I don't really want to increase the number, but I just wanted to make sure that level funding at 300 for road repair was sufficient, because when that GMI contract
Yep.
ends, potentially we're gonna have to look at a cost increase.
Yep, but we would put it out to contract to Pike and them again to see if they could bid and hold the number or tighten the number or go up just a few dollars. And there's still fluctuation in that contract based on fuel and oil prices. So that number isn't,
Right, it's not a
Right.
solid number, but I thought, I had heard that it was a contract that looks like it's working to our benefit.
it has
So
worked
I was
extremely
under-
well.
I was under the impression that
Yep.
we were at the end of the contract, we're still in the middle of the contract.
I believe
I think we have one more.
we had just renewed it as Mark was retiring and I think it was a 3-year contract.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
I feel really bad that you guys over here, it feels like I'm not talking to the whole group.
It is a 3-year contract, and I think we are in the middle of it, but I
Okay.
can.
So thank you, that answers my question and makes me feel better.
Yep. And again, we will always strive to put ourselves in a position where we can get a better number on, and that number is based on not only buying it, but laying it down. So like when I send my crew down there to get asphalt, it is under that number. It is not just, it's not just when they lay it down.
Okay,
So,
very good. Okay, we're ready for a vote? So we're gonna have a vote for final approval of this section, which is Highway Department capital projects, or highway projects. Section 4312, we didn't make any changes, so it's still $335,001. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, 700, it passes. What's our next? Street lighting and bridges, other highway. I make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for other highway, street lighting and bridges, which is section 4319, and the select board recommended amount of $35,001.
Seconded.
Okay.
So you can have it.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Sue. So there's 2 lines here, one for, it says other highway, but it's street lighting and bridges. And bridges is a $1 hold, so it's street lighting.
Do you want me to jump in there?
yeah, as I said, my counterpart really handles that line number, and I can handle the dollar one, you know. Yeah, but my counterpart pretty much runs that line, so I'm gonna defer to her.
That's fine. Christina, do you want to say something?
It's pretty self-explanatory, but it is maintenance and the lease payment. The lease will be paid off in 2027, and those are the we went through affinity lighting and had the lighting switched over to LED lighting. So that lease will be paid off in 2027. So that's included, as well as the actual billing from Eversource on the lighting in this line, so.
So just to clarify, when you say it'll be paid off in 2027, does that mean January 1st of 27 and 26 is the last, or at the end of 27?
February 2027.
Okay.
Usually the bill is, I just got a bill from them and they're due in February. So February of 2027 will be the last payment.
So, okay.
It's
It
relatively.
doesn't change anything for this, it's level funded, but then next year it probably won't be level funded.
No,
and we'll
it'll be,
see
it
it go
should be
down.
the same. because 2020, it'll be paid off in February of 2027, so you'll still have to budget it one more year after next year.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
A bill in February isn't just for 2 out of 12 months, it's an
Yeah.
annual bill.
Yeah.
Got
It's
it.
about, the lease is only 20,000, roughly, it's $20,000 and change, I think, so, and that'll be the final payment on it, so.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, hopefully they've turned over, they're still working on, the company that we work with, which is Affinity, is still working on a program called tariff dimming, where they are trying to get us a reduced rate for dimming at certain times of the day. We already programmed some, majority of our lights. They will be really bright at a certain time, and then they'll dim down after a certain time, and then they'll come back up right early in the morning and get bright, and then they go off with the daylight, so. So they're already it's a neat program, and they are already programmed to do that, but there are some other locations we try to dim them earlier because of complaints that we've had, so.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments or questions? Okay, not hearing any, we'll go ahead and have the final vote. So we're voting to approve, final approval of street lighting and bridges, section 4319, in the amount of $35,001. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes 7-0-0. And now we get to the last, I believe the last section, which is Kelly Park. So I'll make a motion to advance consideration of the budget section for Kelly Park, which is section 4522, in the select board recommended amount of $56,376.
Second.
Fell asleep, sorry. It is not me.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Joe for Kelly Park. So, you wanna?
So, I'm kind of going to be taking this section of the budget over.
Yep, that's why we moved it to tonight.
Yep, and the one that used to run it sitting right there, she's going to retire out next December. So, but I am involved in this budget. The highway department is very much involved in this budget. The line 4522-120, I asked for an increase on that. We use that laborer in a part-time position for the last couple of years. We finally got a laborer that is doing the things that all of us, so TTCC manages the park, okay? They see things, they bring them to my attention, we fix them, we attend to them, we maintain the park and all that. One of the biggest issues was maintaining of the fields, and a lot of cry out from the public, from the leagues and things like that. We were able to really improve the maintenance of those fields this year on a new program, or the way Les, Dan, and I had talked about it, and we started labor. He starts late in the spring, and then early in the fall he disappears, and then we found our complaint region is just prior to that, to just beyond that. And if we had kept that laborer, we brought him in earlier in the year and started the work on the fields and ran him a little later into the fall, we wouldn't have some of the issues that we're having down there. So we're looking to extend that a little bit longer to a 29-week period to keep the maintenance onto those fields. Whereas my full-time guy is mowing the park and maintaining the park, and he can help with that. But we've also got Millstream Park, we've got Eagle Scout Park, we got the square, we got the library, we've got rails to trails down here, or that my guy gets stretched so thin that he can't be out there taking care of those fields in the detail that he needs to. And even what little time this guy is doing on it is sometimes not enough. But I will say this, in one of the larger droughts that I've been through in the 12 years that I've been here, we still had green grass, not on the entire park, but we had green grass more than almost every field in the surrounding area, where they were all just burnt solid black. And that's because we've got this maintenance position that's doing a very, very good job. So I was just looking to extend that to a 29-week period. Down on the projects line, there are several projects. We've got 2 buildings that are leaking some water, the Kelly Park Maintenance Building and the concession building, and we had some repairs done to the roof to the pavilion. We're not quite sure whether we need a full roof done on that. And then the second phase of the sidewalk is in there for next year, which would take another sidewalk that cuts basically from the parking lot by the tennis courts straight across behind the baseball field to the maintenance access road to the other side. That's the phase 2 of a project that was started several years ago. I'm just looking to try and tie that up, and that's in that project also. And so those are the lines that I basically am dealing with. We left the other lines alone, so.
And trees.
Yeah, well, one of the other bids was, so we replaced the 2 trees this year down there. We have a Kelly Park committee. The committee itself is looking to add a couple more trees down there for shade. That still has to go before the select board for the approval, but they have got a contract number in there. I don't have the number with me to have, I think, 3 more trees added. Was it 3 more trees? But the placement of the trees would be decided by the select board, the committee presenting it to the select board and the select board approving it. So it was looking to get a little more shade down in the park. Because we're going to be losing that big oak, not this year, but probably the big
When
oak.
you say the big oak.
The big oak right by the crosswalk from the elementary school.
Just across from the elementary school.
Yeah, it's been dropping some depth charges on us, and widowmakers are up in there. I've had 3 times aerial tree come in and remove widowmakers out of there. It's going to go. We've done what we can to save the tree going down the walking path. We've moved the snow dump further down and that. But, so it's better to be proactive than reactive. If we get some other trees around the park right now and get some shade down there, it'll only help with the grass growing. Go.
Go
What
ahead.
are some of the other projects you did this fall down there for the softball field?
So, the softball field, we were able to bring in and put some new material in, because what happens is, and Dan and Les and I are working with the leagues and stuff. The softball field is really maintained really, really well, not only by my guy, but the leagues and them, they drag that field quite a bit. We got to work with them on how they're dragging it, because they're dragging it from the inside out, or sometimes they're dragging it too much from the outside in. And when they drag it from the outside in, what happens is it causes a lip where the grass line meets the turf, or the ball field is. Either way, if you get a deflection in there, the players can get riled, because the ball can come, hit the grass and pop straight up instead of just being a grounder running out. If it goes the other way, apparently it slows the ball down. I'm not quite sure on what is what. So what we did was, we were at a deficit. The way they were dragging it was moving it all around. And not only that, when it dusts up, because they're dragging it when it's dry, the dust goes further out into the soccer field, and we're losing grass and that. So what we did was, we collectively brought it all back in, excuse me, and we brought the field mix up to where it's matching the grass line. We're budgeting, part of the budget too on the maintenance was to redo the baseball field, because we had some problems out there. Not as bad, but they're getting in the same position. So there's a lot of things that go on with the field to get the fields to play the way the games are supposed to be played. So what we did was, we added almost 1.5 inches of material to the softball field, leveled it all off. At the same time that we were down there, we dug a trench from the Kelly Park building down to the dugout and added electricity down there so they can run the scoreboard. Kelly Park paid a lot of money, and they don't use the scoreboard because you got to laterally go up to the Kelly Park building, bring 200 feet of extension cord out. No one wants to do that, and whatever. So now they can actually run the scoreboard during the games, whether it is the middle school or whether it is leagues. Our active scoreboards can be used for any games that are going on. We also had some problems behind the softball field dugout. While we were there, I put my crew on to reclaiming the embankment. The embankment slid down right over the backstop and was between the backstop and home plate. We have subterranean drainage there, and we feel it had failed because the last 2 years, home plate and beyond were staying wet longer than they normally do in the spring. And we've had some dry springs, and it was still staying wet. What I feel might have happened is that embankment sliding down is keeping the water from penetrating down to the piping that goes around the park. As we cleared that, we found the pea stone right behind the backstop. We exposed the pea stone and we pulled it back 18 inches to where the pea stone stopped. So what I'm hoping is that pipe is still active and working, and if we see that it's solved the problem, we know we can hold that. We may have to build some type of retaining wall behind that embankment to keep it from sliding down every time it rains and pulling material out in there and blocking that subterranean drainage that we have. So there were a lot of projects that went on down there this summer. The big hit was the year before when we did the paving from the parking lot to the
Concert pavilion.
the play area. It was originally only supposed to be the play area. I took highway money, we extended it to the pavilion, and it's worked out phenomenal to get the handicap over there. They can get in some shade, they can also get to the play area, and we extended it up to the sidewalk crossing at the elementary school. So cars that are parked up there have a sidewalk to walk down. They can either go down to the TTCC entrance or go the other way. So it's all worked out really, really well for the park.
Answer your question?
Yep.
Just to add to that, the other piece of it is we have to maintain those fields to middle school standards, because all the middle school games are, they're a higher standard than what
We
the
would have
center
for
would need,
leagues.
and as is Babe Ruth, so they have to be maintained to a certain level. The grass has to be cut to a certain
Yeah,
level.
field hockey
depending
is
on
a
the
certain
sport.
height.
So there's a lot to it that we do additionally because of that.
Yeah.
It's probably also worth noting too that some of those teams are actually doing exceptionally well.
Yes.
Regionally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
championships and so forth right now, which, at least in my time in Newfound, that was not very common, so.
I will say the working relationship between the community center and the highway department, I feel anyways, is phenomenal. There's not a lot that goes on down there that we don't know about, and they're very proactive that before something becomes a problem, it's only an issue and it's a conversation. And so I don't think the budget is anywhere near out of whack or anything. I think everything we're looking for in there is only a bonus plus to the community and everything that goes on down there. I mean, when you look at Old Home Day, when you look at Dances with the Stars, when you look at that they have concerts down there every Thursday night, the support that Highway's giving them and what they return to us with the communication, I think we've managed a very beautiful park area for the community.
And when he says less than Dan, he really means Dan?
I really mean Dan.
All right. Anyone else? I don't know, I was wondering why the projects went up, but after that, explaining all the good things that are happening, sounds like let's not to do anything to stop the momentum of having the great jewel that Kelly Park is for the town. So that was my comment. Anything else? All right, let's have a vote. So we're voting on final approval for this section of the budget, which is Kelly Park, section 4522. We didn't make any changes, so it's $56,376. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, passes 7-0. Thank you, Victor, for coming out.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Hopefully you finished your dinner.
I did.
Ashland before you came here.
Had she not asked me to go out to dinner, I would have been in bed, and I probably would have said, Christina, I'll give you $50 to cover for me. But because we had a tough couple of days
You mentioned that.
out on the road. I will say, if I could say before I leave, this is my second time around sitting in the seat. As a superintendent, again, I can't say enough good about the department and everybody there. They are doing a phenomenal job for the select board, for Christina, for this budget committee. They have a very good understanding of what the budget is and why we have a budget. And I think the process that we go through, the work that I do with Christina prior to any meeting with the selectmen, whether it is an emergency issue that we've got to declare, or whether it is a forecasted project out there. I think this whole process that we go through, you know, presenting to the budget committee, working it up with Christina, presenting it to the select board, and then presenting to you, I think the residents are getting what they're looking for, the answers, that not just a rubber stamp on anything on these budgets, or at least on my budget. I can't speak for Chris or Ben or Jeff. I think this process works very, very well, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. I understand that you're sitting there trying to make the best decisions you can for the tax base and the residents. And I appreciate the opportunity to give you the input that you need to make these decisions. I don't think everything should be a rubber stamp. I think you have the right to cut and do what you need to do as long as you give us a chance to justify it. And I want you to know I appreciate the process.
Well, thank you.
Christina, have I embarrassed you enough? All right, well, thank you for your
All
time.
right, have a good night. Thank you. All right, so let's try to
Are you in tomorrow?
get out of here. I think we've got,
If it's not too bad, I have a couple of things I have to ask you about.
Yeah, I'll come see you.
Okay.
Okay.
all right, so it shouldn't take too much longer. We've got minutes to approve from our last meeting. So we have the minutes from the December 16th meeting. They went out yesterday morning. Hopefully, that was a little short. You had time to take a look at them. So, I need to make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 16th meeting of the Town of Bristol Budget Committee.
Second.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Les. Any changes, modifications, corrections? I know there'll be some grammar and things to go, but hopefully we got the factual part mostly right. Not hearing anything else, Buzz, you want to go ahead and give us your,
First page, under 4130 executive, second paragraph, second line, to a higher federal rate, the federal should be capitalized.
oh, yeah, okay.
On the third page, under 4155,
Mhm.
1, 2, 3.
First or second paragraph?
The first paragraph, 4 lines down, there's a word missing, reflecting a 20.6% overall increase. The word increase is missing.
Gotcha. Yep, okay.
On the next page, the second paragraph that begins Ms. Sodano, 4 lines down, whether the increased costs were attributable to rate increases, not rating increases.
Okay.
I don't know what page this is.
6.
It's the page,
Which section?
45, 50, library. It's the page that is all text.
Okay, that's page 6.
Mostly one paragraph. About two-thirds, a little less than two-thirds the way down that paragraph, there's a line that begins a 30-hour employee position.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it's drawing on personal experience, he noted his family members are avid. It's not their family are. It's just grammar. It's Joe talking about his
Right,
own
right,
family.
yes, I remember.
And then in the next line, users and greatly enjoy, not enjoys. So he noted his family members are avid library users and greatly enjoy the children's program.
Okay.
I'm on the page that has 4711.
Like 8,
Yeah.
page 8, 47.
Yeah, mine didn't come through with page numbers.
Yeah, okay.
Um, never mind.
Okay. I'm happy to never mind.
And there's one, this one is really picky. This is on the last page.
Mhm.
The paragraph just, 3 lines, or 4 lines above staff comments. It talks about a town-owned asset. When you're using multiple words as an adjective, there should be a dash, so it's town-owned. I told you it's picky.
Okay.
I can't help myself, sorry.
All right. Did anyone else have any comments or corrections to make?
Can I actually pick apart my minutes? Can I make a couple suggestions that I didn't catch?
Yeah, but hold on, Joe's gonna
Okay.
go first.
I just want, on the last paragraph that I was actually just mentioning, you know, those are the comments about the library budget at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
I just don't know if those should be in our minutes, because a lot of that really, I appreciate the concern you raised, but I felt like it was more about, it was a matter of the library trustees, not really a matter of the budget committee.
So would you like to do you want to shorten it, or do you want to just delete the whole paragraph?
I guess I don't have a shortened version proposed, so I guess,
I would delete
Can I
the
make
whole
it?
paragraph.
yeah.
Because, so again, just, I think we all know, Shannon writes up a first draft and sends them to me as a chair, and so before I got them, she had said, I'm gonna be sending them, and I kind of struggled with this, and I changed it, but before I got it, I'm like, I'm not even sure that whole, I would say spew that I did needs to be in the minutes, and then when I read it, I'm like, yeah, but I did say it, so maybe it does need to be in the minutes, but you're bringing me back to where I started from. I'm okay with that, but, all right, so why don't you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to
And I'll
remove
second
that
it.
paragraph.
So we have a motion to delete the paragraph at the end, starting with Mr. Regan discussed. Motion by Joe, seconded by me, actually. Does anyone want to comment, or can we just go ahead and vote? I guess if you disagree, if you think that it should stay in, please comment. Okay, so we're ready for a vote. All in favor of deleting that paragraph from the minutes? Aye. Sue, did you vote?
No.
Okay, do you want more time to think?
Well, yeah, the only reason why I'm saying is what might be pertinent in this whole paragraph. So what are you saying that wasn't pertinent in this?
Well, the concern or the frustration was raised at that point in the conversation was really about Paul's interactions with the trustees and not necessarily what was presented to us in the budget. We took action and voted upon what was presented to us in the budget.
I'm gonna say 2 things. I'm gonna say that I agree with what you just said. What I would say is that if you think that a edited, shorter, something should still be in here, what I would like to do is vote in favor of Joe's motion.
Yeah.
If you show up at the next meeting, we'll reopen and consider adding a different paragraph in.
Yeah, I
Does that
thought
work
that
for
would
you?
be better. Yeah, I think that would be better because
Right.
there's other information.
So even after we approve the minutes tonight, if at a later moment, at a later time, you reconsider and want to make additional changes, we do have the ability to go back and reopen the issue and do that. So rather than not take that out now,
Mhm.
Point of order, there was a motion, we already voted on it.
No, we didn't vote.
We did. The 6 of us voted.
Oh, yeah, right,
She
she
did.
did. Thank you.
So
Thank
as
you.
amended. So now she can vote against it if she wants.
So do you want to, so right now we have 6 votes for, and you haven't voted. Do you just want to not vote, or which would be an abstention?
Yeah, I just want to vote on it.
Okay, so 601 passes. Thank you.
So this
Thank you,
can't be
Scott.
opened
Sorry,
again?
Colin.
That's
No,
right,
you're
and
right,
now
you're right,
we
you're
can
right,
continue on.
You're right.
It should be.
It can be opened again.
Yeah.
I just will tell you, my concern is that this looks very inappropriate because the conversation took place after the trustees left.
Yeah.
And it was the chair.
That was actually the reason I kept it in there, is because I felt like that it needed to be part of the public record for people who it impacts that weren't in the meeting.
Okay.
If I had it all over to do, I think I would have swallowed my tongue, but I can't go back and change
I
that.
know.
So if Sue
A
comes up with
modified
something,
version would be good.
if Sue comes
If
back
you
with
want
something
to.
tightened up, or
Yeah.
someone else
That's
wants to work on that, I don't even work on
You
it
could
too.
just do a simple sentence that said, Mr. Reagan discussed his certain
Right.
concerns about the library and its administrative processes or something like that.
Yeah.
And as personal concerns,
Right.
Right.
and then just leave it at that. Because then it's on the record that you did say something,
Mhm.
but we haven't gotten into the weeds.
All right, I know
Try
Scott,
this work.
I know Scott wants us to move on.
No, I'm saying, well, now I'm saying we should probably just move on, or if it's as simple as that, we should just do it now, because we'll probably forget about it.
Well, I don't have the exact language, I'm just
Yeah.
suggesting.
The other
I
thing,
mean,
the other thing I will
think
say,
about
the
it.
other thing I will say, Christina, is your comment is not wrong, it is correct, but I didn't say anything I haven't said in a trustee meeting, so they've heard that from me.
Right, but you didn't say it when the trustees were here.
Right, but I'm saying, I didn't say something they haven't already heard, so it's not something it's not like I don't feel like I'm criticizing people behind their back, because I've also said it to their face, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you want us to add a simple sentence that what Buzz suggested, bring it back to you and you'll vote on the minutes at the next meeting instead? Would that be better?
Should we table? Can we table?
You can table them if you want to, it's up to you.
Table and put in
So,
future consideration.
okay,
It's up to you, I just made that suggestion.
well, when you say you mean you committee,
Yes.
not you, Paul.
No, it's never up to you.
So we've already voted to approve deleting the paragraph. Do we want to go back and just say we're not going to approve the minutes tonight?
Why don't,
Does somebody want to make a motion, or do we want to move on?
why don't I just rescind my motion, and I'll make a motion to table the minutes to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second Joe's motion to table approval of the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
7-0. Okay, so we'll discuss the minutes next meeting.
We'll bring something back to you.
Correspondence. I don't think I have any correspondence. Any other committee member have any correspondence they want to share with the rest of the committee?
I don't know.
Christina, you didn't get any correspondence you need to share with us, right?
In here, sorry.
Correspondence, you don't
No,
have?
I didn't, sorry.
Okay, comments. I will make a quick comment, you probably don't care, but I want to let you know that Shannon did get the minutes to me before Christmas, and I get busy over Christmas, so the reason I only got them a day yesterday morning was not Shannon's fault, I just want to let you know.
Fair enough.
That was my comment. Any other comments?
I don't think I had anything.
Any comments?
To be honest with you.
No, you mean next
Comments?
week.
No, I would just say that I doubt that anybody was
Okay.
looking for the minutes before.
I was just gonna say you're forgiven.
Good.
No, I mean, December 18th.
Staff, any comments? Either?
I do want to just, I talked to only a couple of members of the board, not Scott. So, there were 27 pay periods in 2025. Unfortunately, we did not budget that. So you will see some of the payroll lines going over. We're gonna keep an eye on the bottom lines. I've already gone through the whole budget to double check them, and we booked the 27th pay period today. And I'm gonna redouble check them just to make sure, so. But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. So, we thought this payroll was going to be booked in 2026, but the payroll company changed the date to December 31st instead of January 2nd, so it all gets booked in this year.
It normally gets booked on a Thursday, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, normally, so it's January 1st is a holiday. They told us originally it wouldn't be booked until January 2nd, which means we would have booked the whole 27th pay period to 2026. But they're booking it December 31st, so and I've talked to the chair, and we're gonna leave it booking to 2025, so.
Save money next year.
Yeah. Somehow, it would have been 27 pay periods next year if this didn't happen, so it's better to just get this over with and take care of it in the budget and make sure we check it ahead of time. And I don't think it happens again for like 5 or 6 years, so.
Okay.
I think that's it for me anyway.
Before we adjourn, I just wanted to make one more comment, is that so this was the 5th of our 5 meetings where we met and went over specific budget sections with department heads or the owners of the budget section. So our next meeting is what in my list, I consider revisit, revise, and first look at the warrant. So our next meeting, which is in 3 weeks, on the 20th, is to reopen any section, revisit, talk about any questions we had that didn't get answered, and that. We don't have to, we have the ability to open any section, but if we know we're gonna open a section, I'd like to put it in the agenda just to let the public know in case they wanna show up. So if you know you want a budget section reopened, let me know, say, by the middle of January, by the 15th, so we can add it to the agenda. Please go ahead.
I'd like to reopen the Penny Bath Committee.
Which is the EDC section, I
We'll
think
have-
you'd already
We'll
mentioned
have
that.
numbers by then.
Thank you.
Did he get back to you? Because he never got back to me.
No.
Okay.
So I don't need you to do anything now, but I need to let you know that, please, if you know you want a section reopened. And actually, if you know you want a section open and you want some information, let me know so we can go back to the appropriate person and get the information so we have it available. If we're gonna really do something drastic, we'd even probably invite the department head to come in if we're gonna make any significant changes. I think that's it for me. I'll accept it.
I did email you all updated information after the last meeting. I just wanted to make sure you all saw it. I sent you the information from the retirement. God, it feels like it's been longer than, I can't remember what else, but I think I updated you on a couple of things that I had owed you, so, in the email.
I thought you said, yes, you sent out an email. I remember reading it. I don't
I don't
all the
remember
details.
either, so, except for retirement.
But I get, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, retirement rate, the name change, or economic
Oh.
development,
I updated that.
the flags.
Oh yes, thank you for that, Scott. I did update the economic development to economic opportunities. That's the name of the economic development committee is changing to that. And then, so I updated the section to that, so.
So just to be clear, because I didn't say it, if you look at the meeting, our committee meeting schedule, it says the next meeting is the 13th. That was basically the extra meeting for, in case we had a snow day or something. Since we didn't have a snow day, our next meeting will be the 20th, which was scheduled for the revisit, revise, reconsider. Okay? Someone please make a motion to adjourn.
No, go ahead.
Motion by Buzz,
I'll second.
seconded by Sue, all in favor? Aye.
You can leave them right where they are.
I'm glad you told me, because I took that out of my calendar.
Okay, good.